Oh, oh no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the July 5th, 2023 Delta Amateur Radio Club Board of Directors meeting. It's been a crazy past 2 weeks. And I know with the holiday, I'm glad that we were all able to okay. I'm glad with the holiday that we were all able to meet today because I know we've got some big stuff to discover or to discuss. So we'll go into it real quick. Field day went well. So I know it wrapped up a couple hours, and I think just about everybody here was at field day at some point. Some a whole lot longer than others, but it was good to see everybody there. We had a really good turnout. And Joe, do you have more of the total number of contacts or?
No, I haven't finished up. We had 60 people sign, 59 sign in, and Tom Vickers was at the FM station from Rick Pinelli's video, so I signed him in. So it's 60,
60
people that we had.
Good. Which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but it is up from the past several years. And I mean, I think several of you were. I'm gonna mute you, Mike, because I think it's got feedback on the. I know on Saturday it seems like a lot of people were there at the same time, and so it actually looked like a lot of people there. And it seems like, I mean, the weather kind of broke just a little bit for the heat on Saturday afternoon when everybody was coming out. So it worked out really well, I thought, but it seemed to go over really well. And then it kind of, I guess, I know a couple of us have talked about this over the phone or whatnot, but it's almost like it kind of helped. Everybody already had their field day and their battery packs and generators and everything out for field day. So it kind of worked to keep them out for the following week as everybody lost power. So it went well. Does anybody have anything they want to add to anybody for field day? Okay. Huntsville bus, do you want to give us an update? I mean, I'm sure that was coming in your report, Joe, but do you want to go on and give us an update on how it's going?
We paid for 2 tables and 1 entry fee. 1 entry fee has to be paid for the tables. And then we have the reservation on the bus. We only have 11 people so far paid. And I think the question is what is the number that we're going to allow to either go or no go on Huntsville? I just don't see spending $1,000 on Huntsville. We need to have, I think we'll be spending $500 if we have 28 people there. So hopefully people will do something at the meeting. But then again, that the meeting, I've tried to call the seminary across from Bellevue Baptist Church. I'm trying to get a room, 2 rooms there, 1 for testing and 1 for the meeting. And he hopes to have something tomorrow on it. The holiday sort of screwed up getting the approval from what he said. And I've also called the Appling Farms Police Precinct neighborhood watch coordinator to see if we could get that room. And I haven't been able to. I called last week and I've called again. I called again this morning and hadn't gotten a reply. So I don't know if she's on vacation or what. But unless somebody else has an idea where we can meet, we might have to be meeting via Zoom.
Okay. And you said you should find out tomorrow about the seminary option?
Hopefully tomorrow or Friday.
Okay. All right. Would we, if we can't, would we want to see if they would let us meet in the sanctuary like we did, what was it, a year or two ago or a couple years ago? Or do we want to steer clear from that?
We can't have food in there. I mean, I really
Okay.
don't want to have food in there. As a last resort, I guess we could, I don't know if we could get approval now or not, because usually the approvals come on Sunday.
Okay.
But I mean, we can try.
I know
Um,
a longer drive for most, but I could reach out to the Red Cross. They've extended an offer to use their facility in the past, but that's been about 4 or 5 years ago.
I don't know how many people would be driving in town.
Yeah, I mean it's in Midtown, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's on Madison, I believe.
It is.
well, does it seem like, do you feel like it's looking positive to get access to the seminary?
I think so. I mean, he's positive about it.
Okay.
He's pretty positive about it, but he just has to get the approval.
Okay.
He's the chief
Um,
financial officer, so it's not he's up in the ranks, but it does have to go to the, I guess, their board.
Okay. Well, what if we, I mean, what if we just wait to see them? Because I mean, I'd hate to sit here and spend a lot of time. If it seems like that might play out, I'd hate to waste a lot of time.
Yeah, let's just wait.
You know.
We'll have a meeting real quick,
Okay.
On the phone or something.
Yeah. I think that would be great. I guess just to cover our bases, does anybody have any objection if that works out to being able to meet there at the seminary?
Sounds good.
Are we gonna have something by the time that Sparks is published? Is
We should, yes.
okay.
What about snacks? at
We
the
can take snacks to the seminary.
Okay. Mary Jean, do you still have the supplies in the back of your car?
They're not in my car, they're in my house, and they've got I've got some other stuff I need to finish up tonight. And then I was hoping maybe tomorrow afternoon to start getting into all the club stuff, and I guess to update everybody, and I know I sent the email out, but Joe and I went up to the church because I already had everything here from field day, had loaded it all up in the car, got out there, and that's when I saw and realized everything. So I brought all the food stuff back from field day and unloaded it. And then Joe and I went up there, and everything right now is at my house that was in the closet. And so Joe talked to Steve Frazier, and it sounds like we can use his garage kind of, so since some of the stuff anyway from the consignment items are out there, we can store it. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff we were talking about while it's all out, kind of going through it to organize it a little more and all that. And so I was going to go and pick up a couple boxes to get some, get things kind of a little more secure if they're going to be in a garage, and then go through and do a quick organization, and then not, purge anything necessarily without like letting you guys know or all that, but at least try to organize it so that way we can get it out there and store it. And then Scott said he would be willing to hold on to the food stuff, but the way everything is in my front dining room right now, all the food stuff is back up against the wall and everything else is in front of it. So I've got to get through all that, and I can, but it's going to take me a second. So, which I can knock that out tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening.
Did we get all the coolers while we were digging stuff out?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
everything is
Yeah.
out of the closet.
Yeah. And the mic system, I've got it as well. I mean, not obviously like the speakers and everything, but the little boxes and the mics and everything that looked like it might be it. Hold on just a second.
I sent Mike O'Brien an email that we pull the
Yeah.
the PA stuff to keep corrosion.
Right. So it was the, did we get the that Radio Shack amplifier? We
Yeah, the
got
2 boxes,
2 boxes?
2
Okay.
boxes and 2 mics. Mary Jean said she pulled.
Okay. Do we know what size rooms that they have at the seminary?
One room is 100 people, and the second room is 12 for testing.
Okay. Do we know if it's on the first floor? I guess they have the elevator. So
They
really-
have an elevator.
so we just don't know. Okay.
Yeah, they have to have an elevator, I'm sure, for ADA compliance.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got everything. There might be 1 or 2 things that, I mean, because I know there was quite a bit over there, Scott, but everything that I could see that I could even unplug, I tried to grab.
Okay.
I mean, there were a couple wires that went up into the ceiling that I wasn't about to start yanking. Because I'm sure as wet as everything is, more ceiling tiles would have come on down, but I think I did get everything. So I will
Just whenever you can get them where I can
Yeah.
come get them, I'll be be able to, retrieve them. It just have to be after 5 o'clock.
yeah.
I mean, on the weekends it's party free, but just let me know when I can come get them. So I can at least, if we have the seminary, I can plan to go ahead and pack everything and put ice on everything. So, before I come out there. So,
Okay.
I mean, we won't have coffee. I mean, I just don't think we'll have coffee in that area. So it'd just be, water and drinks or whatever y'all had left. I take it we're keeping the stuff from field day. Did you bring everything?
Yeah. So I did not buy that much. The largest part of the field day purchase was the deli sandwiches, and then breakfast went up a lot. But I mean, we knew that, going into it, and the hot dogs and hamburgers, some chips, some sodas, some candy bars were all donated by Mara. And so I know a couple of you, we had talked about at field day, and then Neshoba had said this as well, that since they donated so much, and I think since they're a little bit tighter than both of the other clubs, since that saved a lot of money anyhow, Neshoba proposed, and the couple of us who were there kind of agreed, with just Delta and Neshoba covering the balance. So I didn't buy a ton of snacks because most of the snacks that I bought, I mean, the Little Debbie's and stuff like that were pretty well eaten. The hot dog and hamburger buns, there are some hot dog buns left. But since since there was a fire with the grill and we couldn't do the hot dogs, but oh fun. But I mean, there should be a couple things, and so I also know there's like I mean, we've got a lot more. Like, I don't think I bought any sodas or drinks. I think I maybe bought a small case of water as a backup. But like, even with the water, there was a lot of stuff furnished. So I mean, there's going to be some stuff, a few things we might, buy back, but not as much as last year because we just had so much that was donated, and all that. So, but I mean, you'll be set on. There should be Cokes, Diet Coke, Sprite, and then of course
Diet
some of the
Dr.
other
Pepper.
odds and ends. Yeah, Diet Dr. Pepper.
Okay, that's fine. Just whenever I can come get
Yeah.
them. We
Okay.
can go for it.
Um, all right. Well, yeah, Joe, I guess just let us know. And then if it falls through and that doesn't work, then we'll figure something out.
Okay, I mean, I'll be glad to ask Mike if we can use the sanctuary. Um,
No snacks.
you know, if it falls through.
Mr. Joe, are
Yeah.
you gonna put together something on the bus to go into the announcements for Sparks?
Um, I think the same thing as before.
Okay,
I'll verify it.
okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Uh,
Do we need to go back to Joe's original question about making a decision on the count for Huntsville for go, no go?
how many are we at now, Joe? Thank you. Thank
11.
you, Paul. 11. I know I plan on signing up and writing you a check at the meeting. I don't know. I mean, do we want to go on and decide, or do we want to wait and see how many sign up in the next week or two and then decide at the beginning? Well, I guess we need to know before the beginning of August, because when would we have to back out to get the money back for the bus?
We need to back out by about the 25th of July, because we have to have a check-in by August the 1st if we're going.
Well, do we want to tentatively say 28 with 500, or do we want to say 30? Or more?
We haven't
or
had
less?
30 people in the last few
Okay.
years.
Probably gonna be 25 or fewer.
Hold on, I'm trying to bring up. Let's see.
So we would have to have at least 15 show up by the meeting.
So I'm wondering how the change in location and all is gonna affect people coming to begin with, and if that won't
Yeah.
hurt the Huntsville.
I mean, it could. I mean, maybe that's just where we really get on there and push that, mail a check to Joe, or at least email him and say, I've got a check in the mail to you or something. I mean, I know we really need money in hand, but I mean, if folks are communicating at least, and I mean, that gives us an idea if we have even close to enough interest or not. But I don't know. What are you thinking, Joe? What's your number that you're thinking would be
Hold on a
too
second.
much?
I was running some numbers. If we have 25 people, it looks like it'd be about $122, a little over $122 a person. So that's 25 times 22 that we'd, hold on.
About 550.
That's 550. I'd say we need at least 25 to make it a go.
So we need 15 more people to sign up.
Yeah. If we get 20 people, that's $147. So
How much money have we spent so far to get the tables? You said you had to put a deposit down.
$102.
So would we get that back if we?
It's be very questionable. It's at their discretion.
Well, there's 2 people on here that are signed up or they're going to give you some money. So that would only be 13 more people between here and there for 25. Unless there are other ones that are not saying anything.
I'd like to go, but I can't commit just yet. I need to figure out on-call schedule first.
I'm on call that weekend, so I can't go.
I'm moving my son into the dorm that weekend.
I'm signed up. I'm there. I'm committed.
Locked in.
And
All those Diet Dr. Peppers. What am I going to do with all those?
I'll have to drink them next week.
Well, should we say 25 and then just see how next week goes?
I mean, I think that'd be, if that works for you, Joe, I mean, because Joe, you're the one that's been crunching the numbers and coordinating everything. So is 25 an okay number
Yeah,
to start with?
that's
for
around
now, or-
$500, which,
Or do we want to
You know.
even, say like 27? I mean, I know that's not an even pretty number, but if it puts us below a $500 loss at least.
Lord. But anyway, yeah, let's say for 25. Because I hate to, throw money down the drain.
Yeah.
But, we can discuss it also at the meeting. But,
Okay. Well, if we need to vote on that, we can. I mean, I figured that might be at this point better as just discussion, and then we vote on it later if we need to, or if we need to have a meeting at the meeting to decide, we can do that if that works for you guys. Okay.
Fine with me.
Just since it's come in within the past month, and I know I forwarded this, gosh, back at, I think it was right before, on the 12th of June. So Ty KX4MQ had sent in an email, and I think I had forwarded it to the board, suggesting that we consider replacing another one of the analog repeaters with a Motorola DMR repeater and have it linked to the NWS Memphis, because I guess one of them went down at some point. And so he seemed really interested in talking about this more. And I thought it might be good to do that with this time, but then I figured with this, I mean, we've got a lot of unknowns with the meeting location anyway. I thought we could at least casually bring it up and then maybe try to, I don't know, discuss it more.
You said you sent it out to the board?
Later. From the Delta
I didn't
Club.
see it.
Okay. Because this was back on the 12th.
The other analog repeaters, but I don't think that's pressing right now. Especially
Yeah.
when there's so many other methods to be able to get onto DMR, whether it's hotspot, whether it's the USB stick, whether it's, through your iPhone or, smartphone. I just don't see that as pressing right now, given the other challenges we're facing.
Yeah.
I'm not against
Well,
it. I'm all in favor of
The
it.
question
but-
is where would we put it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the question. What analog repeater do we have that's not frequently used that we could put it on? I mean, it's just a gateway. It's not. I don't think it would be a ton of expense. I don't have the expertise to be able to do it though. Hopefully Ty does, but yeah, that's just not something that's really pressing, in my opinion, right now, given so many other methods of being able to get on DMR.
Yeah. Well, and my thought too was, if we're even meeting on our secondary frequency right now, and there was a lot going on that, I like the idea of expanding where we can, but it doesn't seem like it's a right opportunity. But I didn't,
How many people have DMR?
Me?
I use that radio more now than I do. I use my DMR, just my handheld, but
Somebody kind of fill me in on what we're talking about is,
I'm about to re-forward and it may not have sent. I'm sorry, y'all. I guess the iPhone setting or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9.
I think it's a great idea. I don't really have a problem with the idea. I just don't know how we'd be able to pull it off right now. We have enough other challenges ahead of us. So,
No, I agree. So I'll just read it real quick. He said Ty KX4MQ had sent an email and I just forwarded it. So it may be the first time and maybe the second time. I apologize if it's the first time you're getting this, but and he sent it to he submitted it on the website form, and it says, Dark officers and board, I would like the board to consider replacing one of the analog repeaters or adding a new with a Motorola DMR repeater and have it linked to NWS Memphis. There's only one local repeater on DMR W4LET, and during the last storm it went down briefly. That is the main repeater for NWS in the area at the moment. It isn't even a club repeater, and it has supplanted 146.82 in terms of emergency comms importance. I think Dark has the best opportunity to be at the forefront of emergency communications and ham radio education for our fellow hams and community. I don't see us doing that anymore without options for digital communications and being active as a club with promoting the awesome old stuff as well as the cool and helpful new stuff. We really ought to help shape emergency comms for our country and the surrounding area. I'm glad to discuss this with the club leadership at the board's convenience. 73. So, if anybody feels like talking to him one-on-one, I don't know that, we can invite him to talk to the board, but
I'll be happy to talk with him. First off, I'm a member of the National Weather Service liaison team. I can't remember the last time we've actually had a net. I think I called one 2 or 3 months ago. I'm not seeing any emails about being on standby for net control for any severe weather like what we have coming in here in just a few minutes, or what we had a few Sundays ago. So the fact that it went out during a major storm, okay, was there anybody even calling a net when it went out?
okay.
I'm not trying to be negative. It's just I'm
Well, but if that's the
frustrated right
if
now.
that's the facts, though, what happened? Because if there wasn't a net,
An email asking somebody to pick up a net on the first of the month. We're supposed to have them every first of the month.
yeah.
Did anybody
Well-
else hear July 1st for National Weather Service? I didn't. So, or June 1st. So anyway, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. I just, I think it's a great idea. I just think it's not now is the time.
Yeah.
Bad timing.
Well, I think one is if he cannot get National Weather Service to staff people to call the net, then what's the reason for the repeater?
Right.
a good-
That's
yeah.
the point I was trying to make.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing is he doesn't even have consistency on net control for the DMR net.
Yeah.
Get that going, and then we might think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
But as far as I'm concerned, I've tried to check. I've listened on Echo Link before, and nothing happens. There's nobody calling the net.
And half the time when they do, they don't know how to link it up to where it plays on Echo Link, where it's linked. Yeah.
I mean, I think somebody outside of Memphis should. They don't need Memphis reports. They really don't. They need outside of Shelby County, really.
Well, and Michael Knight had indicated that, who was it? Alan, Suffolk's ALN, that he was now on our team. And I really thought Michael Knight was kind of spearheading the whole NWS liaison team, but I really haven't heard much since he's moved to West Memphis. I'm not saying he's forgotten about us or anything. I just haven't heard much lately. So I guess I should reach out to him. I don't have his phone number. I think I can get a hold of him via email and just touch base.
You want his
and be
phone
like,
number?
"Hey," if you don't mind.
Unless he's changed it. 901-832-8636.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like I need to have a Jerry Maguire moment, because either we're going to do this for the National Weather Service or we're not.
Yeah.
I believe in our mission, but it's been really frustrating lately, and it started to get a little better there for a couple of months, but we're right back worse than where we were. So, in terms of DMR, I'm all for it. Everybody knows I love DMR, but given the challenges that we have right now, I just don't think now is the time. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year, who knows?
Yeah.
But now it's definitely
Right. Or that is necessarily the reason. I would be for it too. I think it would be great if we could have repeaters that were, I loved it when we used the 625 and people could check into the net on Echolink. I thought that was fantastic. It's something I think would be great to look at in the future, but to say, we need to get a DMR repeater right now for the NWS, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of with John. I would like it, but just don't see that it's something we need to obligate ourselves to, or something that we need to do right this second because they had a problem,
Yeah.
during the last storm. LET is very reliable. It's only gone down a few times that I know of. I don't listen to it as much as I do, but it's really reliable, and it has amazing coverage too.
And I'm usually on a hotspot, or there's Droid Smart. There's so many different methods of accessing DMR that are somebody that's truly into DMR, a repeater being up or down should not make a difference.
Yeah, that's true. Barry, what do you think about it?
Well, I'm still trying to clean my own house,
Yeah. Yeah.
We got 8.2 that's down. We got the one that we're using now that's there's something going on with it because it's weak as all get out.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is. I haven't even looked into it. All I've watched is
Rick and I were out there, last week, I guess it was, or week before last, and it was like 1.7 SWR.
What kind of power was it putting out?
Oh,
wait a minute. He's got that amplifier on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had
power, and then we got the amplifier.
I've forgotten what it was, about 3840 watts with the amplifier, and it was 3.5, 4 watts, I think, out of the repeater.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds normal, but my stuff, it's weak.
By the way, Joe.
It should be.
Hey, Joe. You're relayed into the Bullfrog net, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Go wait for that.
You made us night, John.
Well, it's my turn to call it, and so I hopped on there real quick to get somebody else to call it for me.
Okay. Well, I'll mention something to them and just let them know that we did talk about it a little bit. And I mean, it sounds interesting and something that we might want to consider down the road, but just not this, not right this second, because of everything going on. And I mean, John, if you've got more knowledge about the NWS net thing, it might not hurt. If you feel obligated, feel free to
Yeah, I
say
like.
something.
I
But
think he has a lot of enthusiasm. I think he has a lot of
Mhm.
yeah,
ideas. So I don't want to discourage him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind talking to him either. So
yeah,
and just being like,
And you
look,
could just say, that the 8.2 and all the things we have on that tower, are the big priority right now or something. I don't know.
yeah,
yeah, I don't want to say that we won't consider it because 6 months to a year from now we may be all for it. But
yeah.
Yeah.
timing's just bad. That's all.
yeah.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
what are we considering the secondary frequency right now? The Germantown or
Probably Germantown, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If
Okay.
if 443
Thank you. I didn't
700
mean
went
to get
down,
off
it'd be
topic.
Germantown.
So is that the 625? Or
What was that?
Yes,
The secondary?
625.
Awesome.
And I think
Um,
Echo Link is up on it. I think I tried the other night. It sounded like it got on.
All right, well, I'm going to start with the loops. So I guess Barry, do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, I'm getting better. But no, I don't have anything. The power outage just been driving everybody crazy. And
Hey,
probably had
we're
a
up to
total-
3,000 without power right now.
Yeah. I probably had here at home in Collierville, I probably had 8 power outages. Had a 26-hour one at first when the main storm came through, and then it finally came on, and then I had a bunch of on-offs and everything that started going on, and then I had another big one the other night. Oh, it's driving me nuts. But my grandson, he's living with us right now, and he said, I'm gonna put this generator up. I said, I wouldn't do that. It sits outside under an awning. And sure enough, he did. Within 24 hours, me and Deborah were getting it back out. But I said, don't put it up this time. It's still sitting outside. But no, I don't really have anything else.
Yeah, Collierville and Piperton right now is really affected, or it was. No,
Yeah.
no, now they're back up, but now Midtown has got 3 orange boxes. That's over 100 people out.
It's not raining here yet, but give it a chance.
It's on its way here.
Yeah.
Mary Jean, when did you get your power back? have you? Or have
Monday
you?
at like 5.
Wow.
So we were 7 days, I think 22, 5, 6, 7. 7 days, 22 hours.
And we thought Hurricane Elvis was hell.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, which thankfully, somebody, when I saw some of the damage at the end of the street on that Sunday, and I put a post up on Facebook, I was like, I really feel like this is going to be a while before we get power. And I had already told Mom, I was like, because stores were already closed by then. And I said, I'm going to go first thing in the morning and be in line 30 minutes before Harbor Freight opens and at least get something, because my gut tells me this is not going to be good. And that was before I even saw the rest of Oak and Cedar and Broadway. And sure enough, I had somebody message that night, a friend up in Brighton, and they were like, "Oh, we've got a generator you can borrow if you think you'll need it." But I was like, "Absolutely! When can I come up there and get it?" So and we sure did use it. I changed the oil in it once and then ran it for a few more days, so I'm gonna change it again before I take it back up there, but, whew, yeah,
Nice when you need it, but they're, unless they're permanently installed, they sure are a pain to deal with.
yeah. Yeah, and it's an older one. It was really heavy to
Oh, that's
load and
loud, too.
unload, but I mean it Briggs and Stratton, so it ran like a champ. So, but all right, Jim, do you wanna go with your report?
Sure. Go ahead and, can you allow me to share?
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I will say I have tried twice to send to scan and send the applications that I have from the June meeting. So when we get to that point where we cover them, I'll read them who submitted it, because this scanner has been weird ever since all the power outage stuff, and it should work, but it's just for whatever reason it doesn't save the way it used to.
Not a problem.
All right, you should have it
Okay.
now.
All right. Okay. Everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
All right, it's gonna be a simple one tonight. We had only deposits this month. So started the month with $20,836.63 and collected or deposited $1,320 for an ending balance of $22,156.63. So you can see that, or I'll run through these one by one. We had most of these are deposits that Joe made. So thank you so much for making so many trips to the bank, Joe.
You're welcome.
So $99 for one bus fare, $198 for two bus fares, and $768 for, what is that? Was that 8? No,
8.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8. 'Cause
7 plus a spouse.
7 plus a spouse, right? Mary Jean deposited $215 for us. That was $50 carried over from previous month. I can't remember the gentleman's name. If you could remind me, Mary Jean.
Matt Ryan.
Yes. So that was $50 from Matt Ryan, and then the balance of that $215 was collected at the last club meeting, which I was unable to attend. That was for memberships, correct?
Yes, and we also had a $75 donation
Oh, okay.
on
So-
one of those.
okay.
Yes.
All right. And then, well, I guess we can come back to that when we talk about or when we need to vote on new members. Then we had 2 final $20 deposits at the end of the month. One was for Jerry Kirksey membership, KX4QE, and the other one was possibly a duplicate for Len Grice. He did send a check back at the end of February that went into our March numbers. He sends his money in via like bill payment from his bank. We also got another $20 deposit from him, or a check from him through his bank. And then he had also completed a form online. So I don't know if he forgot that he had already paid, or he's paying for another month or another year, sorry. But it does say for 2023. So I don't know
We
if
can
we
talk
wanted,
to him when he gets back.
yeah. But I didn't realize, or I had forgotten that he had already paid for this year, so I had deposited the check already. So we'll work it out.
Sounds good.
Our certificates of deposit continue to grow. That between the two of them, we're now up to $16,172.60. And originally, when I was trying to figure out what the 215 was, because I didn't know what it was. I did list it as a mystery deposit, but then I got information from Mary Jean and added it up here. So with our applications received and the bus fares, that brought us to that total of $13.20 for our deposits. No checks written, no withdrawals made. So it balances out here with that $13.20. I did also received a envelope in the mail. I don't know if that's not gonna. I don't know if that's gonna come through, but this is addressed to Barry. Anyway, I'll bring it to the club meeting. I didn't open it because I don't know exactly what it is. Inside it feels like it might be a QSL card, but it's from it was postmarked June 10th.
Go ahead and open it.
Yeah, open it.
Okay, all right. I didn't want to open somebody else's mail.
If it's a bomb, it's on you.
little anthrax never hurt anybody,
no.
right?
Probably a jealous husband.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. Okay. So it looks like it's a handwritten QSL card from John D. Kovac in Junction City, Kansas, using a Flex Radio 6600M inverted V dipole at 35 feet, power 100 watts, single sideband. Thanks for activating the USS Tennessee for the museum Ships on the Air special event.
Did anybody from the club, is it for W4BS?
It is for W4BS. Yep, on June 4th, 2023 at 21:25 hours
Okay,
UTC.
that ship's on the air.
Yeah. 14.238.
He must have.
5.9. Anyway,
Did we
and
have
there's-
anybody, Barry, did you?
What was the date of the event?
It was June 4th.
No, I didn't do it.
It was great to work the station. Please QSL, and he included a stamped envelope.
SASE.
Yep.
He probably has a mistake.
Do we have QSL cards?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We've made up special ones, but
Yeah,
it was
for
for
the
the
200.
special
With
call
bicentennial,
sign.
or the yeah.
I'm talking about the
Okay.
baseball team. I could care a rat's monkey about
So what should
that.
I do with this? Do I ignore it, or do I
I'd
send a
put a note back
and
that
say,
nobody knows the contact.
Gotta
Yeah.
support
We
right.
did, we did not activate W4BS for ships on the air.
So,
okay,
I have to solve
all right.
I wonder
I
if
can
it
do
was
that.
W3BS, which is Buddy
Well,
Siegel.
Here we are. But I, on the other hand, I'm
Mm.
not gonna,
John, mute. I just sent a note back that we did not activate W4BS.
Okay.
For ships on the air.
All right, I will do that.
Does it say whose name he talked with?
No, it just gives the call W4BS.
Okay.
QTH Memphis, Tennessee. Great to work the station. Please QSL 73 DE John.
I would just send him a note back saying that
Okay.
we did not activate W4BS for ships on the air.
Okay. I will do that. I may also send him an email if he's got an email address in QRZ.
Just send him an
But-
email then.
Do that. All right. I'm sorry. I should have asked. Is there any questions about our treasurer's report for this month? I will correct it with removing mystery deposit and fill in the number of memberships that we actually have and the correct amount for donations. Let's say.
Okay, and I
So-
think it just sent to you and Paul.
Okay.
If y'all want to check and let me know,
Okay.
or if
I
you're
think I
able
did see
to.
something.
But okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Yep, I got it.
I know that Matt's was voted on already, but I went on and scanned his in since it was included in the amount that was deposited. So I think y'all already voted on his last month, but
Yeah.
you know,
It just came through.
While you're looking at everything, training, I have 13 students for the tech class starting July the 10th. And I'll have to find a place to do testing on the 7th of August. At least I have a month to find a place.
okay.
And I alerted Bob Vaughter that there'll be a change for testing.
Okay.
I suggested he put to be determined on the ARRL site. So at least people know that we're doing it.
I'd sent him something as well, but I'm guessing that you probably beat me to it. But
I think I sent it to him last Thursday
yeah.
or talked to him last Thursday about it.
Okay. Well, that's good that you've got 13 so far.
Yeah. I think the storm added a few people
Yeah.
because I sent another email out Tuesday and I immediately got 3 people back. And then I've trickled in 2 more to where it
Do you
gave
have a
me
student-
13.
Do you have a student named Barbara Sow that signed up recently?
No,
Okay. 'Cause she was asking about getting a ham license at work the other day. Her power was out and had to come into the office. And, so I gave her your email address and told her when the
no,
class is.
you might tell her to hurry up and get in because I'm going to cut it off at 15.
Gotcha.
Okay. I know you already covered Huntsville. Anything else, Joe?
No,
Okay. Paul?
As far as memberships go, we've got the one that was the Jerry Kirksey KX4QE. We had the Lynn Grice, which may be the duplicate. And then the ones you had were a family membership for Clinton Alexander and Aaron Alexander, Sean Thomas.
And he had a family membership and then a $75
$75
donation.
donation.
And he told me that he figured that I guess the past couple of years he had forgotten to renew or something. And so he kind of was like, well, I would have paid this anyway and didn't. So I'm just going to donate it to the extra to the club to go
who was
towards
that for
repeaters
Sean
or
Thomas
whatever.
or
Yeah,
Aubrey
Sean
Alexander?
Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean Thomas.
he might still be out of power. He lives in Shelby Forest area.
Oh, no.
He was looking at 2 weeks to get power back.
Oh,
Whew.
Yeah, I had to go to Millington today, and there were people at Tractor Supply trying to get propane. They're out of propane, but they were in Shelby Forest.
Mm.
So after Sean Thomas, we have Bob Van Kuren and Jim Barnes, and then Matt Ryan. And Matt's also included a donation, right, of $30. It's not written on here, but I think you said he paid 50.
He wrote a check for 50, and I forgot, somebody pointed out as a new member, or I guess he did, I don't know, I guess, because I thought at one point we were doing prorated, but
Who, Jim
Yeah.
Barnes?
no, Matt Ryan,
Oh,
because he's an ARRL life member. And his dad had passed away, so he's a silent key, and so that's how he got down here to the Memphis area. But either way, it's a $30 or a $40 donation. So yeah.
So Matt was the only new. All the others were renewals.
right.
So any questions or comments on those? Or
Make a motion, we accept all the members as
All right,
read.
so I've got a motion from Joe to accept the membership applications. Can I get a second?
Second.
I saw Barry's hand, so Barry seconded the motion. Is there any other discussion on this? All those in favor of accepting the membership application, say aye,
Aye.
or raise your
Aye.
hand.
Aye.
Any opposed, likewise? All right, it unanimously passes.
I think that's it for me. I'll send letters to both those folks for the donations.
Okay.
Okay, so for Matt, are we considering it a $30 or $40 donation?
Let's consider it a $40
Okay.
donation.
Okay.
Since he's new.
All right.
It doesn't matter to the bank account.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all going to the same place.
Mm.
He can feel that much more generous.
Yeah. Well, and he's the one that, because you ended up getting a mic from him to give to,
James.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, and then he, participated at field day as long as he could. So it seems like he's already getting involved pretty well.
He does a lot of traveling for Motorola for Department of Defense. He left at 4 o'clock in the morning and had to be at the airport in 4 hours to get a flight to Denver.
Yep.
And then go to Wyoming.
Can we get him to program our Motorola radios?
So he actually, we probably could. He emailed and asked me if we may be interested in doing something. I guess he was wanting to do some sort of a satellite trip up in Canada with a friend that he works with next time that they're up there working in Canada. And so he asked if that might be something if we were interested in possibly to have a program on if they documented like some of what they were doing. And so I told him, I was like, I mean, it's up to the director of programs, but I know it seems like
we've
we're
already
always,
Yeah.
okay. And so anything like that, we love getting to see, especially if our members are actually participating in it. We love to see that. So,
Mary Jean's, your lights just flash?
oh no, they didn't.
Oh,
but
Mine did. Mine did.
Oh gosh, no, I was in the middle.
Little
I
PTSD there.
was, it's there for sure. I was in the middle of a quiz last night and I had not lost power at all since we got it back. Started the quiz. It was a timed quiz and you could only do one attempt. And literally 3 minutes in, the power flickered long enough that the Wi-Fi cut out. And then it said it on the quiz that I needed to connect to internet. And I was like, oh no, which I would have emailed the professor immediately, but still like just having to, but it connected quick enough and I was able to kind of cram in everything to save it. But no, yeah, definitely PTSD. Anytime it's like, are the lights good? But no, it's not bad. After seeing, I mean, it's, we didn't have any major damage. We got some dings on the cars, but like to still have a home to come back to, whether there's power to it or not. I mean, I could sit here and kind of have fun with it, but I mean, I'm not going to complain.
We're up
Uh,
to 7,000 outages now.
Oh,
John, we'll try to roll through it just in case. Then
All right. Well, thanks for stealing my thunder. No pun intended. You mentioned 7,000 outages. No secret. We had over 122,000. Mary Jean did a tremendous job of posting everything that was going on with her. Didn't miss a net that I know of. Called a net with a battery, a flashlight, pen, and paper. So needless to say, I think with recent events, this coming up meeting, we're going to talk about emergency power and things that you can do. And I've already sent Mike, I don't know if you got the email, but I sent links to 4 different models of what are called power gates, which are wonderful little devices that I hooked up here at the house. They basically, you can take a 12-volt battery and hook up to it. You hook your power supply up to it. It keeps your 12-volt battery charged, but then also provides power to your radio gear at the same time. So it's seamless. If I turn my power supply off right now, my radio stays on. So think of it as a battery backup that's all DC. So we're going to talk about that, have Mary Jean talk a little bit about what she went through. I first learned about the Power Gate through Richard Martin, so figured I would call on him to talk a little bit about what they did, kind of make it an interactive program rather than just a straight up presentation where we're delivering all the information. So try to encourage participation from everybody that's in attendance. So that's what I got. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got the email. Thanks, John.
We'll cover
Alright.
generators, we'll cover, pros and cons of all kinds of different stuff, but just really would like to encourage a discussion about what we're doing when the power goes out. I mean, if you ever, we have that sign that says when all else fails, ham radio. And we actually had that happen Friday night because we had tons of people without power. And then I'll be darned if Verizon didn't have an outage as well. So cell phones weren't working, power wasn't up. The only thing that you could do was ham radio. So we've got a real life example here. And think that we should kind of talk about it a little bit, and for anyone that's not prepared for this sort of thing, hopefully we can encourage them to do so.
yeah. Even
Mary Jean did a
without-
relay
yeah,
Friday night.
and I was about to mention that too. So I was actually on the phone with my mom. I was out getting something to eat at like 6:50, and I mean, it had been like what 5 or 6 days at this point, and I was tired. I mean, I try to be optimistic, but had just gotten done telling her that I was just tired, ready for it to be over. I mean, who wouldn't? The heat's getting to you at that point. And then, and I told her I was out, going to get something to eat, and then the call dropped. And I went on and got something to eat and got home, tried to call, it didn't go through, tried to call again later, tried to text, nothing was going through. And I thought it was just a local thing. And by the time, the net came around, called the net, and then I think it was Joe that said something about Verizon was down. And so after the net, I asked if he would be willing to try to call her on the landline or send a text or something. Cause I mean, you could text through Wi-Fi too. And I don't know. And I mean, so I stayed up for a little bit and he got a text out to her and she told me later, I mean, she's a little skeptical anytime she gets anything from an unknown number, which is good, but she said that just because she noticed that it looked like a call sign or whatever, and she was thinking, and she said it gave her peace because she was getting ready at 10 o'clock after she could not get in touch with me, or 9 or 10 or whatever. She was about to drive 2.5 hours to make sure everything was good and I wasn't in a wreck or something. And, and so just that simple means of being able, in the midst of all that, to be able to have somebody, through ham radio get something out when I couldn't, was pretty awesome. So thank you again, Joe. I know I've already told you that, but I really appreciate it. And I can tell she really appreciated it too. So
Yeah, I tried calling from my home from Comcast line and couldn't get her, but I went ahead and texted and it I guess it was text. I don't think it was an email to show my call sign. Somehow or another, she must have seen a call sign. But anyway, more than happy to do it. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what ham radio is about.
I was on call for work that night and looked at my phone. It said no cellular service. And I was like, uh-oh. And just so happens I have a desk phone here that's voice over IP, and I did have power and internet. So I was able to get a hold of my boss and tell him, look, if my phone rings and I don't answer, it's not my fault. So, and we came up with a workaround for the night. But,
Maybe
So you
instead
didn't
of
have
a
to go
D-
to the office?
no, didn't have to go to the office.
maybe instead of a DMR repeater, maybe we should just set up an auto patch again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, that was one thing Friday night when all the phones went out and everything. I was thinking that, the hospitals in the past, when phones went out, we did do a phone patch. But then again, how many people could we get to go to the hospitals to make phone patches out? It would only be one at a time.
Yeah, we got notification that a lot of the nurses were unable to make calls from the units. They wear pendants that, they has like a duress button that they can press for emergencies. And then they can also communicate through these devices to other nurses. And they all worked on Verizon, or previously worked on Verizon. So a lot of, so
The irony of it is they first said it was a Arlington, Mississippi, and then they said it was
Memphis, Alabama, right?
Memphis, Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on top of that, I do want to mention also, even if service is working, like I have T-Mobile, it was good for about an hour after the power went out on Sunday, and then I guess their UPSs or generator or whatever the towers are working on lost power. So, or it was just saturated with everybody that switched over from their Comcast to using their mobile devices as hotspots. After an hour, we had no service for days. So not until power came back. So if anybody was trying to reach me on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I had no service.
Mm-mm. No. Oh. All right, so you're good, John, on your report. Scott?
Yeah, the Verizon outage was due. It started about 7 o'clock and it restored about 1 a.m. The only reason I know because I had 32 fire accounts that went down, and they all sent emails to my email exchange. The problem is that now I'm working on a turnaround, and I have to go back to the wonderful Ethernet or internet to have a backup. Actually, I have SoPass cellular to NAPCO, and then NAPCO sends it to the central station. But our
It was
dial,
7:17, it went down.
yeah, about 7 o'clock, and it knocked out all the accounts. And I was playing juggle. I was at home, and I have AT&T fiber, so I didn't ever lose anything. So I was on Wi-Fi calling, so I was able to use that, but I couldn't leave anything because I wouldn't have cell service. But anyway, just a little point of information. But I guess you'll just call me when I can come pick up the stuff,
Okay.
and we'll see. Just heads up on where we're going to meet. If we meet at the church, then I'll just keep everything that I have.
Okay. All right. I'll get in touch with you tomorrow.
Okay. Did we buy any stuff for the meeting, for the last meeting? Is that what you picked up?
Joe,
Yeah,
you
I
got
bought Cheez-Its and 2 Dr. Peppers and a case of Diet Coke.
Okay.
And Jim has already paid me for it. Deposit the check today.
Yep, I was gonna ask, make sure you got the check. And Mary Jean, you'll have a check going out tomorrow. You had an error in your calculations though, so you'll be getting
Okay.
you'll be getting a little more money.
Oh, okay.
To include the tip for Jimmy John's.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank
So
you for catching that.
Hey, no problem.
I was
That was-
like, well, if it was under, but okay.
I didn't want
Over's
you to
always
eat that
good.
$23 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
John, what is the title of the meeting? Program, rather?
I didn't really have a title per se. I guess emergency power, or what are you going to do? when
What
you
is
don't-
the device called?
Well, and we're going to focus on more than one device, but it's called a power gate or PWR gate.
Power gates for emergency power. Or
There you go.
I think it should be
power gates
nightmare.
for emergency
Talk
power.
about
like-
generators and stuff too. So it's just this little device. And again, Richard Martin told me about it a while back. There's a cheap one you can get through Amazon, which is what I have. There's some
EX
more
Engineering
ones.
carries it. And I
Engineering
think
has them. And they even-
Quicksilver also carries it.
Huh?
I think Quicksilver carries it also.
Okay. Yeah, the one of the models at DX Engineering, they're out of stock until November. It just so happens that's the one that you can also plug a solar panel into. And so it's also a solar controller plus the power gate. So you have 3 methods of power, either solar, your power supply, or a battery. So
What
They
about,
probably like that device too, don't they? What's the
Do what?
price on? They probably really like that device.
that one from DX Engineering is just shy, almost $200. It's $189. The one I have was 44. So and anywhere in between. They've got some at DX Engineering for 100, 139, and then it's all.
I think MFJ has one also.
I'll have to look. But really became a fan of it. It works great. And yeah, good stuff.
what about emergency power for communications
That'll work.
or emergency power for radios or?
I think it should be Nightmare on Oak Road.
That would be very fitting, for sure.
I drove through there. Was it yesterday or Tuesday? Or yesterday or Monday, and it still looked like a disaster war zone.
Or we could just simply call it, it could happen to you. Because who would have thought that we
Yeah.
would have lost power for so long in Bartlett? I mean, you know, I don't know what senator lives in my neighborhood, but our power usually comes back on pretty quick. And it did compared to others. But then it went out a second time around Thursday. So it stayed off over the night.
All right, Mike.
Really don't have anything. You know, I'm on PTO the rest of the week, so I'll be working on, you know, getting Sparks out, you know, and just waiting for all the information to flow in and try to get it out. So, you know,
Appreciate
just, you want to call it emergency power for comms or just emergency power period or
John.
program?
I'd just call it emergency power because I really think the scope should be broader than just comms. I mean, because we need more than just comms. We need to be able to run refrigerators. We need to be able to run an air conditioner or a blower motor on a gas furnace or, you know, so let's kind of broaden it a little bit. And it's going to be more of a round table than just a straight up presentation. I mean, we'll have a presentation, but we really want to encourage input from everybody because we've all been through this.
So why don't we just say emergency power discussion by John?
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good.
Or emergency power led by John.
There you go. You read my mind.
There you go. Okay, and then just waiting on the meeting location to come in, and I'll of course put that out on the website and everything, and then have it in Spark. So, yeah, so I'm good.
Okay. And I will say Sunday when I was sitting there with no power, I mean, I had the generator, so I was able to charge my laptop, but I actually typed out about 75% of the president's corner already because I already knew after the week that it had been, and it ties into, you know, the program and everything now, with everything that was going on. So I should not lack much to get you that. So,
Yeah, no problem. Sounds good.
all right, Perry.
Don't have a lot to add. I know several months ago, I think you, Mary Jean, and maybe some other people have talked about reaching out to new members and things like that. I really did try to circulate a lot at the last meeting, congratulate people that had passed exams and people that were new or who had come back after a while. And they really seemed to appreciate that. So I'm going to try to keep that up and see what we can do with that. But they seem to appreciate having someone come up and visit with them and recognize them. So that was good, and we'll keep doing that. And that's about all I've got.
Mary Jean? Mary Jean?
Yeah.
One thing in your meeting last month and also in the minutes note, it was saying that you welcomed the new members. You were stressing new members. I think visitors need to be included.
Okay. Okay.
Visitors or visitors and new members.
I think that's a good change. Good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to get out a little bit as well. It was this past month, I feel like there were a couple folks who you get locked into conversation with, and I feel bad trying to cut it short, but I did get to a couple as well. And I mean, it makes a difference, you know, and I hate that it came about the way it did, but I mean, if that helps encourage us and me, especially to get out there and do a little more and try to put forth a little extra effort, that's what we need to do. So, especially what I need to do.
Okay, great. Thank you for
does
doing
it-
it. Thank you, Perry.
Does anybody else have anything else to add?
Net time in 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we survived without losing power, so we'll go on. And if there's nothing else, we will adjourn at 7:52.